Hello and welcome back to another character creation video. My name's Lumin and today we're having a look at Lords of the Fallen. A vast world awaits in this all-new dark fantasy action RPG, as one of the fabled Dark Crusaders embark on an epic quest to overthrow Adir, the demon god, in an interconnected world more than 5 times larger than the original game. Lords of the Fallen features colossal boss battles, fast, challenging combat, thrilling character encounters, and deep, immersive storytelling. Will your legend be one of light or one of darkness? Ooh. So it's a Souls-like. This is a Souls-like. It presents itself like a Souls-like, and it's going to play like a Souls-like. If you would like to do a deep dive to discover all there is to discover about Lords of the Fallen, you can find some links below, and you can also find the timestamps down there, so you can use them, jump between the different parts of this video, find what you're looking for, and leave satisfied. While you're down there, my links are there as well. You can find all the different ways you can support me if you'd like to do that, but let's talk about this character creator. We're going to start by looking at the classes that are available when you start in your game out here. Then we're going to have a look at male character creation and customization, then male randomization, then the same for female customization, randomization. Yeah. You can use the timestamps. Jump to the part that you want to see right now. Go for it. Let us begin. First up, the classes. So, as you start here, you get to pick your class. I don't know how much is actually set in stone when you pick this class, but if it's like other Souls-like games, then the idea is basically it just gives you a starting point, right? You'll get a set of items that you can use, and you'll get a certain allocation of stats that you can jump in with, and it'll basically just give you that jump start, that little boost in the direction you want. So I'm not sure, I'm not 100% if anything is set in stone with the classes, but most likely you can pick one and sort of stray from it as you play. So first up we have the Hallowed Knight. This armor looks amazing. Like, wow, dude, the detail on here. A stalwart knight whose loyalty to the cleric and the Hallowed Sentinels is matched only by their determination to destroy Adir and the Rogar. A class focused on physical prowess bolstered by radiance. That's the male one, and if you switch to female, it looks like that. Much the same, much the same. Pretty damn cool. And you can also have a quick peek at the items that you start with. You don't seem to be able to sort of, you know, highlight them and look what they actually are, but I mean, I think it sort of explains itself when you look at the description. You can zoom in and see them up close, and again, the models here are just like phenomenal. They are awesome. Awesome. Next up. Udi Ranger Warwolf. This looks amazing. Look at that. Damn. Hardened champion from the land of Udi Ranger. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's whatever. Who has proven themselves worthy of their people's honored rank of Warwolf by completing the requisite ancient trial, one which few survive. A devastating but lightly armored class driven by raw strength for good or ill. There's the female version. You will notice that they have sort of like a preset character and like a model basically that fits with these. It's kind of nice, and you can look at the stats down here obviously if you didn't see them. It's cool. It's cool. They sort of give you a nice starting point, as I said. Now we have the Partisan. Once again, a completely different character. The character looks like it matches the armor and the theme a little better. A dutiful Mornstead fighter whose sorrow at the ruination of their kingdom by occupying forces only fuels their defiant struggle in its name, whether fighting up close with their steel flail or from a range with crossbow. A strong and dependable all-rounder class. Pretty cool. Stats down there once again. Pretty nice. It's kind of interesting that you get like a shield and a flail and then you get the crossbow along with it. It's a good combo. Then we have the Mornstead Infantry. A seasoned Mornstead foot soldier whose time in mud and blood and tumult of battle taught them the value of agility, speed, and keeping the enemy at a distance. A class for those who favor dexterity and light defense over strength and bulkier armor. This looks amazing. Like, it's really cool. You got that sort of, that teeny little gladiatorial buckler thing with the spear or polearm. And I'm not sure if that's like 2 different spears or what's going on here now. Maybe it's a javelin to throw. But it looks pretty cool. That's the male one. There's the female one. Looks much the same. Body type doesn't really change much. Then we have the Black Feather Ranger. I'm sorry about the pronunciation of words. I'm bad at reading, dude. This guy looks sick, straight out of Bloodborne. A member of the elite band of rangers who patrolled the forests of the fief of Kinranger before a terrible curse born of grief lay waste to their home. An accessible class ideal for those who prefer versatility over a more focused approach. Yeah, he seems to have a whole lot of different stuff here. It's pretty cool. Part of it sort of reminds me of like the idea of a demon hunter, but then you've got the feathers here which just throws you off of it completely. I don't know, feathers and leathers. Exiled Stalker. Next up. Former Imperial Assassin, their downfall and subsequent banishment from their homeland has made them a nomadic cutthroat, killing swiftly and efficiently for nothing more than coin. A challenging class to master, but also a lethally effective one. It says here in full caps, advanced class. Yeah, it looks like it sort of starts with dual wielding, and it's going to be a quick hack and slasher. These are generally harder because they have lower health and strength and stuff like that. They have also, as you can see, sort of like cloth armor. Okay, Orion Preacher. A wandering preacher whose unshakable faith in the divine will of Aureus guides their way while they spread his holy light. A physically vulnerable class reliant on radiance, whether for protection or searing the sinful flesh of heretics. They look pretty cool. Yeah, they look pretty cool. That's the male, and that's the female. You can see the body type has changed a little bit here as well. You sort of got a little chunkier body here. Once again, this sort of stuff that you see here, you can't do all of it in here. This is like just a starting point, basically. So you can make this guy super skinny if you want to, and it's no problem. Pyrrhic Cultist. A fervent worshipper of Adir who has sworn to see the natural order finally restored and humanity's one true god returned to his rightful place as their ruler. A high-risk class reliant on proficiency in Inferno. Yeah, so, pretty cool. Pretty cool. The armor is just like, it's super duper gross. I don't know, it looks like it's made of flesh or something. You will notice when you zoom in here that they've got like a... yeah. Let me show you. They've got like a really disgusting looking mask on. I just wanted to make that clear right at the start, is that when you jump in here and you look at like the body and stuff, that it's not like you're not playing a goblin race or whatever. That's part of the mask that you're wearing. So you've got a normal face under there. I just feel like I need to say that because I think a lot of people will come here and they'll see one thing and not realize what it actually is underneath. Anyway, last up. Condemned. A wretched prisoner who has suffered indescribable torments, whether there was any truth in their guilt or not. A class for those who would rage at fate and throttle adversity with unflinching blood-soaked hands. Pick at your own risk. It's not so much the balanced class, it's sort of like the rich or the, I can't remember what it was called, tarnished or whatever it was in Elden Ring, where basically you start with straightforward stats, nothing really special, nothing really very high. You start with very basic gear. It's the tough one to start with. Your body type doesn't change much at all here, male and female. And that is our final class. Now I'm going to jump in on the Hallowed Knight, and it's just a good starting point. And I'm going to jump in on the male character, and we'll start on the customization. I'll show you how this works. The customization. So I both like and don't like what they're doing here. I'll say I don't like this because it seems to be a little buggy and wrong at times. I've fiddled around with the character creator a little bit, and when it works well, it's easy to predict what you're doing, what you're going for, what you're going to get. But sometimes it just sort of does its own thing with this little triangle here. And the problem is, the triangle's everywhere. So I don't know if it's a bug that they haven't fixed. I don't know if it's just something that's sort of built in that's supposed to be a little harder to read. I don't get it, but I'm going to do my best to show it off. The way this is supposed to work is you pick head A, B, and C from a list. These are head A, these ones down here are head B, and these are head C. You pick which ones you want, so if you pick 3 of the same, that's all 3 the same, then theoretically this will do nothing. As you can see right here. Right now it's doing nothing, because you've got the same face here. But it bugs out pretty easily, and sometimes when you sort of fiddle with them and you take, let's say, those 3 over there, then sometimes it still changes things. I don't know, okay? So I'm not entirely sure, but that's the idea. Because this now, when I move it up here, it's sort of, for a second there, it flashed back to face 1, the one we had. If you may have, I don't know if you caught that. It flashed back there, and I don't know. But, again, that's the way it's supposed to work. See, I think we're actually back on face 1 again now. Or some variation of face 1. But it is a cool idea. It's just it doesn't always work. So, the faces that you have, and I'm going to do it like this, okay? I'm going to put it in the middle here, basically in the middle, and then I'm going to go through the faces, and what I'll do is I'll select all that, and then I'll select all this, and then I'll select all this, and you can sort of get a good look at how the faces look. And this is important. This is quite an important choice that you make in here. It's like the presets of the game, basically, but mostly just for the bones of your face. And you can see from the pictures here that they are definitely varied enough, and they have some, like, you know, different enough looking faces, but it doesn't always work all that well when you slide in this around. You can see that face number 1 always just flashes back in for like a split second. But you can use this to change the overall look and feel, there's face 1 again, of your character. I just want to say tinker a little bit. Tinker, fiddle, make sure you've double checked all of the stuff that you've done, because sometimes it might just not work right, like when you start moving this thing around. Again, if one of you guys understands this better than I understand it, please let me know. But in essence, you should be able to combine them. I should be able to take this one, and that one, and I should be able to combine them all and put it here in the middle and have a sort of mix of the 3, or you can pull it like towards the one or the other. But for the most part, this stuff, I want to say, is a little unimportant, because what you can do is you can just pick the standard default face, and then you can customize it all by yourself down here. I'll show you how now. Skin color. You got the rainbow here. You got the rainbow to choose from. They have a few sort of preset ones that are, I would say, recommended, but you don't need to go for these. You can actually just go like totally crazy. You can make your character any color you want. It's one of those games. You know, it's like you can just do whatever. You can set the saturation max, the brightness max, and then you can go for basically any color you could dream of. It's all here. And you know what? Hell yes. That's fantastic. It's cool that they give you the good basic preset, but it's even cooler that they give you full customization, because you can do whatever. You can make yourself all green. You can make yourself into Piccolo of DBZ fame. You could make yourself all red. You can make yourself into like a tiefling from D&D. You can do whatever, and that's awesome. Being able to do whatever, that's a win. Hair. The hairstyles are shared between male and female, so whatever you see here will also be on female. Now, it's not always easy. I can't zoom out and show you the top, but you can sort of get an idea if I spin it around here. You can't zoom when you're on this view. There are a few nice styles. I like the hair physics. They seem to work quite well. I have looked at what they look like in-game, and yes, they do look the same, and they work quite well when you're in there. There is actually a highlight system that I should probably show you as well. So you got a highlight over here. I'm going to make it, let's go for like a red highlight, right? And we'll make this sort of a pitch black situation, right? Now, if I take the hair, you'll see the highlight is up at the top there. I'll make it yellow. It's a little easier to see. Up at the top on the hair. This one, the highlight is way stronger, obviously. It highlights most of the hair. Here you can see the roots are the default color, and then as it gets further out, you get the highlight color. And you can sort of, you know, mix and match these. You don't need to use this. You don't need to throw in a different color to mix things up. You can just do whatever, you know. That seems to be the theme today, doing whatever. I actually kind of like throwing the white in there, so it looks sort of grayish. But once again, you can see the roots are darker. Decent hairstyles, I feel. There's a nice mix. As I said, the males and females share hairstyles. There's nothing special or unique to either of them. And that's the way it should be, I feel. I initially thought maybe there could be some more, maybe some more feminine styles. But, I mean, after looking at this a few times and just sort of going through the different options here, I feel like they've got enough short styles and they've got a decent amount of long styles. And it's okay, you know? It's okay. There's definitely enough here, and the hair looks decent enough. It's not going to be like, you know, right up at the top of my best hair ever list or anything like that, but it looks alright. Yeah, so for the purposes of this customization, I'll just pick a style that doesn't obscure the face too much. We'll go for something like, let's say, where's that trendy cut? This one here. Let's go for this one. Ah, there we go. Looks alright. Once again, you can do your highlights down here, and there's a decent selection. Facial hair. Facial hair. Looks decent. Honestly, looks damn good. It's this is kind of cute. That's the dad look. When I had a beard, this is what I had happening to me almost every day when I went down to the garden with my daughter. Jeez. The beards look nice. I feel like because the hair looked as good as it did, or looks as good as it does, I felt like it was an expectation. The hair and the beard had to both be good, but it's not always like that. Here we've got Chris Hadfield, or whatever his name is, the astronaut. It's kind of fantastic. I like the facial hair in this. I think it's well done. I think that it's nice that they give us some stubbly styles. I think that the density is good. And I think, once again, the actual strands and the textures and stuff look really nice. It's so easy for people to mess up the beard styles. Like, these games do it so often, and this just looks natural. It's good facial hair. Really good. And, hey, the character actually somehow looks good without the facial hair, which is like, wow. Also, I feel seen. I feel represented with these scrappy styles here. This is what my beard looks like. And yeah, thanks. Thanks for that. Highlighting works the same way as the hair. So you can basically pick what you want here, the color, and you can just splash some of it in there, or none of it in there, and it can be full RGB as well. There you go. But I'm going to copy main color for now. I'm just going to have it all black, or I'll probably just take this off so we can look at the customization properly. Face texture. This is the face customization in earnest. It's the full face customization. They give you the choices here of face again. So, like, basically this is a selection of the faces that they had in the face or head shape category, and here you can just pick them straight up. So you can just pick it. This is what that face looks like without the combination stuff going on, without them trying to throw face 1 in there. This is a good place to pick whether you want to have a younger looking character, older looking character, bigger, smaller, whatever. We're going to take face 1 for now, and I'm going to show you what this looks like. You get to pick the age. It's kind of good. It's actually reasonably well done. You still have sort of... this is not a young man, but you still have sort of some lines on the face, and when you throw it up a little bit more, they become much more visible, and then when you throw it up to the final one, you actually get some wrinkly skin and stuff like that. Texture's done really well. It just looks good. It just looks really good. For the purposes of the video, I'll leave it on young aged. Eye color. You can customize left and right separately. You can do heterochromia if you'd like. Then you can pick the color here, and that is about it. You don't get to do the iris, you don't get to do like the pupil, you don't get to do a pattern or anything like that. You get the eye, that's that. You get to customize it. Now, I always comment on this. I always say that the clarity, the distance at which you can see the eyes, the clarity of the color and stuff like that is usually, it's kind of important to note. And in this, it's one of those games where your character has this haunted look, and no matter what you pick, it's sort of hard to see. You can pick the brightest blue like this, and it's sort of hard to see. It's not a bad version of it, because your eyes aren't completely obscured. The color is definitely there. It's just, I mean, this guy, he's seen some stuff, you know? It's like he's got this dark expression on his face, and no matter what you pick, it's going to be kind of dark. Stop. I am interrupting Lumin to tell him that he's a fool, and he missed the intensity slider. So, yeah, the eyes, they don't look dark and grim and lost and forgotten. No, you can actually pull the intensity up, and they can be super duper bright. So don't listen to this chump who recorded this video. No! He doesn't know his stuff, and he missed the bar. So you can actually make the eyes super incredibly bright, and it stands out. Like if you go out to the body, the eyes are actually too bright, maybe. Be careful with the slider. Be careful. So, yeah, the intensity slider, that does what I would have liked it to do if I had seen the bar. And that fixes the only issue I had with the eyes, so they look great. Yeah, the eyes are great. Thumbs up. My bad. Thumbs up. Carry on. But you do have full RGB once again. And as I mentioned, you can customize the inner and the outer, so the pupil and the iris separately. It's nice. There are some really cool combinations that you can put together here. And yeah, people who are creative will have a pretty good time with this stuff. I think. So there you go. Lots of stuff you can do here. I'm just going to pick one of the default ones for now. And I'll copy the main color. Let's go for this one. It's fine. I don't want to get too distracted. Eyes. Eye shape. You get to customize here. Now, it goes without saying that the way this works is you generally sort of pick in and choose in the different eyes that they have in the different presets, and you throw them in here. But this is where the fine-tuning starts. What you can do is you can actually press F here, and then you can fine-tune it with this little triangle. I want to say again, as I mentioned before, this doesn't always work. Sometimes it's awesome and you can do some really cool stuff, but it's a bit of a janky system, and for the most part, I would say try fine-tune, but double-check, triple-check even, and make sure that you got everything the way you want it, because it's just, yeah, it's a little janky, okay? It's a little janky. A little bit janky. And with this, you also sort of pick in your eyebrows here. It's not really much different on each of them, but you also pick in the eyebrows, so just keep that in mind. The nose. Same system as the eyes. You can fine-tune it with F. And there are a decent selection of noses here. Bigger, smaller. You can go reasonably large with it. And you can sort of fine-tune it a little bit to your liking if you drag this around. But again, the system is just, it's sort of just okay, you know? Ears. Nothing crazy or out there. These are just some sort of normal everyday ears. Slightly bigger, slightly smaller. Little different, but still just ears. Not going to put any like demon horns on here. You're not going to get any little pig ears or fish gills or whatever else. You know, you can once again customize like this, but I don't know, man. Again, it's like it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't always work all that well. Mouth. Different mouths. You will note on each of these you have 9 to choose from. It's from the face shapes above. This controls your mouth, your jaw, a bit of your jaw line. You can see it's the whole, your chin, the whole front section, and your lips all in one. Pretty important choice. And then cheekbones. It's a good system, and I think that they made an efficient choice here, where basically you have a whole lot of different options that you can mix and match. There's a bunch of combinations here, which is awesome. It's awesome. And the characters end up looking pretty decent. That's the end of the face shape customization. So if I jump back now, I will show you the tattoos. This is a system that I really like. So you don't have full control over what you're doing here, but you have a bunch of different slots, and you can just spam that face with tattoos, man. There's a lot of different stuff. I'm going to, for the purposes of the showing off here, change the intensity to full, the tint to full, and then I'm going to leave it on black, so you can just see what they look like. You will note that there are some that are and I'm not sure if this is, let me just check quickly. Yeah, there are some that are darker and more solid, and others that are sort of lighter and sort of less hardcore looking. And immediately you can see here, if you change the brightness, it helps. Sometimes the white ones are more visible. Sometimes you can sort of see more of the design when you do that. They also have the tattoos and skin markings in here, as you can see with these. The intensity, let's just change it up here again. There we go. These are these skin markings. I'm not 100% sure what they're called. And then there's a few more tattoos. And this is all just in the one slot. You will notice that there are a few scars. And then there are a few combo tattoos where you have like different styles of tattoos that potentially combine with others in the other lists. Just know you can also change these tattoos. Some of them not so visible. I'm trying to see now why this is barely even showing. It's like you can see the little, you know, it's like it's teeny weeny. I don't know. There's like this it's visible, but there's not that much going on there. Those are kind of cool. But I was saying you have combinations. I think this should be combined with that one. I'll show you what I mean in just a moment. There's actually more of them. It feels like some of them sort of, and then there's the scars in the bottom here. Some of them sort of get stuck under the skin, which is a little weird. So, cheek. Here we go. These are the skin markings again. Each of them has like a corresponding choice that you can get on the others, on the forehead, on the nose, on the other cheek. As I was saying, it's like you can choose this. There seems to be matching sets that you can go for. Left cheek's the same as the right cheek. There you go. And then the mouth finally. The mouth ones, some of them are also a little hard to see. But you can mix and match the colors. You can change these bars a little bit. Because look, the intensity once again is a little low here. You can change them a little bit. As much as that helps. I don't know. Like, the whole system seems a little buggy. Like, sometimes it just works and sometimes it doesn't. Skin markings again. Pretty cool, I guess. Scars. And there you go. That's it. I'm sure that if you fiddle around here, you can make some pretty cool stuff. But these settings, yeah. Again, they don't always work all that well. So, let's remove these quickly. And then go back. And then we're going to move on to body. One of my favorite parts. I feel like there's a good amount here to look at. And it makes me happy. So, once again, we are greeted with the triangle. Here, you can change your character to muscular, thin, or large. And it's decent. This really actually does a good job at sort of molding the body into what you want. It's nice. It's well done. But you need to combine it with this. So if you're going to basically go for thin, then you should use this with thin. And then you'll have that thin texture on the thin body shape. And then if you want to go for muscular, you can put muscular on muscular. And you will look far better. And same thing for large. I feel like, once again, you throw that texture on there. It's a little weird if you throw muscular on large. It works, but it's sort of, you know, it looks a little strange. They auto, you'll see now, if you half switch it around here, they auto change it, but you can still sort of override it by doing this. Anyway, nice body shapes, well done, decent looking form and physique. I like it. And then you can once again change the skin color here, same as before. You can do whatever it is you like. You can go for the whitest white, the darkest dark, and honestly, it looks pretty sick. Pretty sick. Now, the final option we have after the body is the tattoos. These guys are much the same as the face ones. They give you a lot of different slots. And yeah, they look alright. Chest. Just know that, once again, there's a lot that you can change here. The intensity, I pull it up all the way to the max, but it sometimes just doesn't show all that much. I don't know, man. I want to say use your imagination. It's sort of... Look at the pictures here. Because the system, once again, just sort of... It sometimes shows them and sometimes doesn't. These markings look very nice here. Compared to the facial ones, these markings are very bright. And that's like, wow, man. Like, what... Why'd they make that one so dark? That's cool. It looks like the void is trying to escape from your chest. There's some burn marks here. Then there's a bunch of scars. Scars look pretty good. I think that they're pretty decent overall. That's the chest ones. Back. The back scars look amazing. Full RGB is available. There are a few shields and stuff here. Then that's these markings again. I like it. It's probably one of my favorite systems for tattoos, just because, you know, they're not giving you too much that you can mess up with. It's like they're giving you a good selection. I'm on the arm now, by the way. And they're giving you a good number of choices here, a decent amount of control, while not letting you be, like, you know, overly abusive with the system. I feel like the amount of slots that they give you for tattoos is fantastic. The fact that they got these markings plus the scars is kind of sick. And there's a lot of cool combos that you can put together with this. I think it's a good tattoo system and scar system and everything else. I do think that this menu is a bit janky and it messes up sometimes, but the right's the same as the left, so I'm not going to show you that now. But it's still quite good when it does work, right? Legs. There you go. It's a little small, sorry. You can't really zoom in on the leg. It just zooms in, like, in the middle. But overall it's quite nice. Yeah, overall it's quite nice, and I'm impressed by it. And giving us that much is cool, you know? Because if you mix and match them, if you combine the different slots here and put the stuff that you want in those slots, you can make something pretty cool. That is it for the tattoos, however. We're going to go back now. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to randomize. Now, if you come here to the end and you randomize, then it randomizes the body options for the most part, and it leaves the other stuff the same. So I'm randomizing this section now. And you can see, like, I don't know why the hair changes or like what's going on there, but the face shape is staying the same. So this is like a good look at all the different bodies you can get. And for real, as I mentioned, like the big ones look good, the small ones look good, the muscular ones look good, the different tattoos are cool. The one thing you will see is that they don't really stray with the tattoo colors all that much. Maybe you can go into the tattoo menu and randomize there. But overall, again, the body shapes and stuff are pretty sick. Like, it looks really nice. Now, if I go back to head and randomize, now you'll see some fireworks. Now you'll get a decent look at what's available. And let me just say, it's a clown show for the most part. And I love that about this, by the way. Because they are unrestrained with the facial options, with the colors, with all of it. They just go. They use everything. Oftentimes, when you randomize, it's fake random. What they do is they give you one of the presets, they give you one of the hairstyles with a certain set color. In this, you can see that they put in random tattoos on, random markings on, random eye colors, random hair colors. It's a good randomized system, and I'm happy with it. I think it's kind of cool. See, you can actually get some pretty cool looking characters here. I mean, okay. Cool is in the eye of the beholder, I guess. You can get some pretty terrible looking ones as well. But you might find a diamond in the rough here. Like, really, you might. I say it's a clown fiesta or a clown show because mostly the random hair colors sort of, they do a certain something with it, and it ends up looking a little weird. But it's a good randomization system. I just want to say that again. It's a good system because it includes everything. There you go. That's it. Let's move on to female. Change our body type here. Onto female, jump back in, and there's our default face. Now, as I explained at the start of the male system, I'm going to explain it again here quickly. This system takes 3 faces with this triangle here, and it combines them. And you can sort of slide between these different choices to get more of that face, more of that face, or more of that face. But it doesn't always work. So it's not a foolproof system. It's not perfect. It's like, it's a little jank, okay? But it is there, and if you can make it work, you can make some pretty cool stuff with it. I would say that if you want to see a good preview of what's available, just go to the randomization section for female or for male, and you'll get a good idea of how you can make your character. However, the way it works is you pick your 3 faces here. These are, this line's all the same, that line's the same, that line's the same, and so on and so forth. You pick A, B, and C, and then you can basically slide this around and pick how much you want each face to influence the overall look. And it's a fine system, again, when it works. So if you pick all 3 the same, technically it shouldn't be changing here. And sometimes that's the case. But what I had in the male side of things is when you pick 3 different ones, it often seems to just jump back to head 1, this one over here. When it works, it's great though. So if it does work, maybe that was just a male thing. I pick basically one there, and one there. Then if I slide like halfway between B and C, then that's the face we get there. Or halfway between A and B, that's what we get there. So this requires a bunch of tinkering, right? But you can pick just any one here and leave it in the middle, and then that's the face you get. And when we jump into the customization section, you'll be able to pick your face there as well. So don't worry too much about this. This is just if you really want to have some fun with it, okay? But what I'll do now is I'll leave it in the middle there, and I'll just jump through these different ones here and show you what they look like. Again, we're going to have a look at all of these in the full customization section, and you'll get a good look at it there. And you can notice that some of these have like different textures. Some of them look a little older, a little younger, different ethnicities, and so on and so forth. And that's cool. There's a good selection here. Skin color. Yeah, it's a rainbow. You can do whatever you want. They give you some preset colors here, pretty pale ones, and then a few that are sort of more grounded in reality, up to a pretty dark black. And if that's not your thing, then you can just go ham with the colors. You can go for the brightest of blue, make yourself into Mystique from Marvel. Wait. That's wrong. God, I'm sorry, I'm not a Marvel DC guy. I don't know if it's Marvel or if it's DC. Anyway, Mystique. You can make yourself blue with red eyes. I know what she looks like. Okay, guys, jeez. Okay, hold your judgment, please. You can make yourself into the Shrek. You can get yourself a good old Shrek green here somewhere. You can do anything you like, and that's fantastic. I love it. I love it. You can do anything. And, you know, I think that with the amount of creativity that some people have, yeah, dude, the world is your oyster. And that's cool. That's cool. Okay? So do what you want here, make something fun, and let me know. I would like to see what you guys come up with. That's the skin color. The hair, I mentioned before that this is the same on both male and female. There are some nice styles here. The hair physics are cool. Texture work is nice. Overall, this game has really nice hair and facial hair. You're not going to be seeing the facial hair here on female, but yeah. I mean, are we? Oh, we are. I was under the impression you weren't. Fantastic. That's a thumbs up from me. But yeah, there's a decent amount of styles. I'm sorry, I didn't know. That's awesome. A decent amount of styles for both long and short preferences. And yeah, the colors, I'm going to show you now how they work in just a moment. Basically, the way it is that there are highlight zones that you can use, and if you mix and match the colors here, then you can come up with some pretty cool combos. I'll show you quickly on, let's say, this one. Your main colors over here, we'll leave it on, let's say, black or something like that, and then you can do a highlight color that will basically give you a highlight of whatever you want. Let's say pink. And then on the different styles, those highlight zones are bigger or smaller. Some of them are more prevalent, some are less. And that's sick. It's nice. Once again, just like the skin color, I like that they give you a lot of control over this. There's no slider that'll give you like, you know, more on the one or less on the other or whatever. But it is, in my opinion, still a decent amount. And I'm happy with it. I'm also very happy with the way the facial hair looks. And I'm going to jump into that right now to show you. Let's pick a style here. Let's take a longish one that looks good for female. This is kind of beautiful, but we can't see the ears. Let's take that one. There we go. Facial hair. This is probably one of my favorite parts of this system, which is kind of weird. But I really like how they did the beards. They have scrappy beards that look more realistic. This is how my beard looks. And then they have some slightly fuller beards, longer beards. Then they got some flowers in the beard, which is really strange. I like it, but it's just not something I'd expect. And yeah, overall, facial hair game is just really strong in Lords of the Fallen. It's fantastic. Good mustaches, nice stubble here. Yeah. And beards on the ladies, man. Beards on the ladies. That's a plus. The hair system is exactly the same as the regular hair system, where you can add a second color in here, and you can sort of make that as bright or as dim as you'd like it. It's cool. It's cool. But for the purposes of this video, let's take the facial hair off the lady, and let's continue. Here we have the face texture section. So these options here are, for the most part, the faces that you saw in the previous section, but these are like 100% those faces. You get in that face, you know? It's not changing the bones of the face that much, but you do that when you start customizing. There you go. Decent selection here. Once again, you've got all the ethnicities covered and all the rest. And then here, you get to pick your age. Old character, lots of wrinkles, stuff like that. Middle-aged and young. I have noticed, you don't need to tell me, but I've noticed that on some of them, on female, the young and middle seem to be much the same. I don't know why that is, but yeah, it doesn't seem to change all that much. Specifically on this face here, I noticed it. But yeah, you can do whatever you want. You can make your character old, young, wrinkly, or not. Eye color. I found that the female faces and the female eyes were, in general, a little bigger and brighter. They didn't look as grim as the male faces, and you can sort of see the eye a little more clearly in this. But the eye color, they don't let you pick the shape or the pattern or anything like that here. They let you pick the color, full RGB, the brightness, and then the intensity, which is pretty cool. The intensity slider works quite well. I actually think I forgot to show this off on the male side, but the intensity slider makes that your character's eyes just glow a lot more. Because one of my sort of points that I always touch on is how much or how little you can see the eyes. And in this game, yeah, man, it's kind of well done. It's kind of nice that you can actually set that intensity up to the max. You don't have to have this forlorn, grim, dead look in your eyes. You can actually have it super bright. You can change the color to what you want here. And then you can also change the inner color if you'd like to do that. You can make it almost anything you want, once again. And the combinations are decent. Yeah, they're decent. You can have straight white and black. You can have black with a different color in the center. There's a lot of different options. I dig it. I think it's really well done. The intensity obviously makes your character look, you know, a certain way, and it is something that you might want to be careful of, but yeah, it's cool. I say be careful because it's going to stand out quite a lot if you push that intensity up to the max and you pick a very bright color. Anyway, it's a nice system, and I'm kind of a fan of it. Kind of a fan. The only other thing they could have done with this to make it, like, I want to say, quote-unquote, cooler, would be to most likely just allow you to change the sort of the pattern or whatever, but that's sort of nothing. It's not a big deal, you know. It's not a big deal. Anyway, let's carry on. I'm going to select something slightly less intense so we don't get too distracted, and then we'll look at the other options. Eyes. This is the overall shape and feel of the eyes. This is also your eyebrows, you will notice, and yeah, there are some decent choices. Usually I would say each of them is sort of, it sort of links up with one of the faces before, but it's not exactly like that. It's just sort of, they link up and you sort of have sort of one that fits with each face. Now, when you're in this section here, you can also fine tune. It brings up the little triangle that you can slide around and change things with, but this is much like the face shape one, a little janky, and it doesn't always work. I don't know why it doesn't work. It's sort of a situation where on some eyes it works and on other eyes it really doesn't. I have not managed to figure out exactly how you make it work all the time, but yeah, you can do that. It's sort of the little bit of tinkering that they allow you to do to fine-tune what you want. The noses here, there are some big noses, some small noses, a decent selection, and again, you can fine-tune with this just a little bit when it allows you to. Again, it's like, I don't know, sometimes it works, other times it doesn't. There, now it's working, but only a little bit. Yeah, use at your own risk, I'll say that. Ears. These are a bunch of different human ears. That's what we're looking at here. These are all human ears. No elvish ears, no lizard ears, no chicken ears, no nothing. Just human ears. Fine-tuning is available. Fine-tuning doesn't always work. Okay, mouth. This is the mouth, the chin, the bottom of the jawline. It's a bunch of different things in one. You can, once again, fine-tune, or you can attempt to, at least. And these are a pretty big factor in how your character looks and feels. Like, this is completely different from that. Like, whoa, wow, it's a big change, and you got to be careful with this one as well, right? You got to be careful. Fine tuning, it's, yeah, it's there, but it's not always right. Cheekbones, also a pretty impactful choice that you can make here. It's your jawline and your cheekbones in one, and it can also help or hinder the character that you're making. There you go. That's it. Let's jump back quickly. We got a nice looking character here. Didn't do much with it, but it looks nice. Tattoos. Look at the facial tattoos quickly. You get different slots: forehead, nose, right cheek, left cheek, mouth, and you get a bunch of options to change here. The intensity slider is, man, it's again sort of one of those things that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. Full RGB for the tattoos. You can change them however you like. Some colors look better than other colors in this system. There's no rhyme or reason to it. They have some skin markings here that you can check out. And then they also have some scars a little further down. We'll get to them in just a moment. And some burn marks that also sometimes look good and sometimes don't. The scars. There you go. I love how many slots there are. It's a good system just because of how many slots they have. I'm going to take it off as I go through here. You'll also notice that they have like sets that you can use where like you have, you know, corresponding types that you can throw together. And they will sort of work well together. So like there's a set of tattoos that fit with this one, these lines. Then there's a set that fit with this one. Then there's a set that fits with this, and so on and so forth. And if you mix and match those and you throw them in, you can make some pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I like it. Let's change this off. Right cheek. Cool stuff here. Not bad at all. Some of them, you will note, don't show all that well. Others do. Scars, it's like, man, you know, you change the intensity, it doesn't really get much brighter, but yeah, the option is there. Left is the same, and then the mouth ones. These are the markings. They look pretty cool. The markings do look nice. Then the slightly darker tattoos. As I mentioned, some of them fit together, and some don't. And that's it. Decent tattoo system. I kind of like it. Our next stop is the body tab. So, you get to drag around the infamous triangle returns. And you get to make your character kind of muscular. I like this. Now, as you drag it around, you'll notice that the body type changes down here as well. And that gives you the texture. So you got large, very nicely done, sort of a realistic portrayal of a large lady, a realistic portrayal of a skinny lady, and a good-looking muscular body type. I like it. I think it's a fantastic system. What you can also do is you can change this on any of the body types. It looks weird, obviously. You know, if you throw the large texture on the muscular body or the thin texture on the muscular body, but you can do that. So you can go thin and you can throw the large texture on it. You can go large, and you can throw the muscular texture on it. You can do whatever you want here. Doesn't always work, but, you know, that's on you to figure out. Skin color, once again, you can do full RGB. We did look at this already. You can go pretty dark, pretty light, and you can just do the colors that you want. And then our final stop is the tattoo section. These ones are decent. On the male side, I did mention again that they are sometimes great, sometimes not. You can sort of see on white, they're sort of more visible. On black, they... you know, some of them look really, really cool, but once again, the big bonus here is that you have a lot of different slots to work with, and I love that. I really love that about this, is you have a ton of slots, and if you use them all to their fullest, and you jump between all of them, and you put in the ones you want there, or you like spam your character full, make it look like a billboard full of all sorts of whatever, it can look great. Or it can look tacky as hell, but that's up to you. And it's good that they give you that option. You know, you need to be the one in charge of your destiny, you know? So I'm a fan of this system, and I think that they've done well with it. There's a lot of cool options here. And the combos that you can pull off are pretty awesome. Again, much like the other side, the faces and stuff like that, there are these different types, these combos that you can pull off where... you have basically the different ones that fit together. So you can go for themes if you'd like. So if you want your character to be scarred all over, you can do that. If you want to use the body markings everywhere, you can do that. If you want to use those squiggles and scribbles everywhere, you can do that. Or you can just choose different ones that look good together. Right arm and left arm are the same. The legs, I can't really zoom in nicely on the legs, so you're going to have to look from a distance. Just like, I don't know, lean in and go very close to your screen. I don't know. But yeah, once again, all the same ones here. There you go. All the same ones. And I like it. I think there's some cool stuff here. It's cool. It's great. And then here, there's sort of the color system. It can be mixed and matched. It can be changed however you'd like it. It can be any color you want. So you can really do like full-on Clown Fiesta mode here if you'd like to. Okay, take that off, take that off. That's the tattoo system done. Now we can randomize. First the body. You will notice that it sets the face to the face that you chose, and it doesn't change it. It is changing the hair color right now, but we are mostly just changing the body. And it's a good randomization system because you change the body and the face separately, and what you can do is it basically allows you to sort of lock in the facial structure and then fiddle with the body like this, get what you want. And it does every single slot, all the different colors and stuff like that, although the tattoos don't seem to be changing colors, but it does everything, which is cool. And if you find something you like, you can just jump in and further customize it. Then finally, If we find something we like here, then we can go back to the head and we can randomize there. And this is a good randomize. This goes full throttle, man. It gives you all the different colors. It gives you all the different options. You can see some pretty cool stuff here. And you can see some pretty boring stuff. I wonder if I accidentally locked the eyes in. I did not lock the eyes, but they don't seem to be changing. Regardless, the rest of the stuff is changing. It's pretty cool. It's a good system. Lots of different stuff you can find here. You might be able to find something you like, which is nice. But maybe not. Maybe you should customize your own thing. And then, at the end, what you can do is you can go to review. Then you get to see your character, full armor, full getup, a description, and you get to do your name and pick the tutorials on or off. And that's it. That is it. Lords of the Fallen. Overall, it's a good system. There are a few inconsistencies, but the characters look fantastic. There are a lot of really cool options. I did go on about the facial hair quite a lot. I like the hair and the facial hair system. The tattoo system is really nice with all the different slots that you get. The bodies look realistic and you can do some fun stuff with them. It's overall just fantastic. There's not much negative to say about this, apart from maybe the performance in the menus and maybe the fact that sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But that might just be a me thing. I don't know. Overall, really, really cool. I dig it. And the characters you can make are awesome. So there you go. Check back here soon for more. Give this one a like and share it and do all that other good stuff. If you'd like to support me, you can find my Ko-fi page linked below, or my Twitch stream or anything else. You can check those out. But I'm done. Happy creating those characters, dudes. Happy that.